Welcome everybody to another live call here on YouTube. This is great. I love doing these live videos and speaking with people live. So if you're watching right now, we go live every Wednesday at 8 a.m. New York time. And to make sure that you don't miss it, you need to subscribe to this channel. Just subscribe to this channel and turn on the notifications. Click on that bell on YouTube, and that way you will always know when we go live, and then you can join us because we have a lot of these live videos coming up and live speaking practice, and we want you to practice speaking. Okay, now we're also doing something very interesting. We are going to invite a lot of our YouTube subscribers to join us for speaking practice lessons. And very soon, we're going to have other teachers too, not just me, but we're going to have a lot of speaking practice lessons on this channel. And the more subscribers we get on this channel, the more speaking practice lessons we're going to add. So I think you're really going to like it. And if you want to see more of these live videos like this and more live lessons where you can practice speaking, then you should share this channel with other people and tell your friends to subscribe, and share this in groups on Facebook and share this on Instagram, share this everywhere, because when we get more people to subscribe to this channel, we're going to have more live lessons. Okay, so let's get right into it. I see Cecilia has joined me today. Hello.
Hi.
How are you
Morning.
today?
Great. What about you?
Great. Can't complain.
So do I.
Yeah. So we talked with Cecilia. Let's see, that was last week, and looks like maybe she just had a connection problem, so she just left. I'm sure she'll come right back. I see on YouTube in the chat we have Yannick, who just wrote hello. Hey Yannick, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for watching, and thanks for participating in the comments. And we have Maria joining us now, and Cecilia's back. So this is great. Welcome, ladies. So today we have a really interesting topic. The topic is, should you correct English mistakes? And when is it correct? When is it right to correct people's mistakes? That's the topic we're going to discuss today. And I chose this topic because I think a lot of times people are worried about being correct, about speaking correctly, about making mistakes in English. And, when you go to a school or a language school or language classes, the teacher is always telling you this is right, this is wrong. And every person on YouTube is telling you this is right and this is wrong. So is it correct? Is it okay to correct other people's mistakes? When can we do this, or when can't we do this? What do you think, Cecilia?
It depends. For example, when I'm teaching, obviously I have to correct my students. Mm-hmm. But I noticed when I used to have friends, American friends or Canadian friends, I noticed that they just didn't care the way I talk. They even paying attention on what I say and keep talking and talking. And inside of me, I know that I was making a mistake, but I was wondering, how should I say it? Mm-hmm. And I asked them, but they keep talking and talking. So they're not conscious that because they're not teachers, they will not correct you every time that you make a mistake because you're making a lot of them. But it depends on the person. If the person's aware that you need to learn the language, in my opinion, I would love to somebody to correct me. I would love somebody to correct me. And we can also ask the person, how does it feel about being correct? For example, my name is Ceci with as in bed.
Ceci.
And Ceci, yeah, as in bed. It's a short vowel sound. Mm-hmm. And I would love to be corrected, and that way I can grow in English. Otherwise, how we gonna do it, right? And it has to be a native speaker. Otherwise, you remain in the same condition, you never grow. I don't know. I don't know about the rest.
So let me see if I understand correctly. You say that only native speakers can correct mistakes.
Oh, no. Well, if I talk to, it's because in my country, there are not too many people who can speak English. No. In case that I also ask Joe, because sometimes we talk on WhatsApp, so we create videos, or audios. We send to each other audios. And I said, Joe, if I make a mistake, please correct me. No. I would like to grow more in that. But the thing is that there are not too many people who can correct you in my case. But no. If anybody can correct us, that will be great. In my opinion, that's awesome. Mm-hmm.
Okay. But correct you all the time, or correct you just
once in a while
in a lesson, or right?
It depends on the other person if it feels comfortable to correct me, because I know I make lots of mistakes. If the person doesn't have any patience, that person will feel a little bit uneasy being around a non-native speaker. But if you are willing to correct, then you can interrupt the speaking, and right there say, no, you should not say it like that. It's like this. I don't know. I think that we all love to have somebody that can do that for us.
Right. Thanks, Ceci. Maria, what about you? What do you think? When is it right for someone to correct your mistakes or someone else's mistakes, and when is it not right?
Mm-hmm. Hi, guys.
Hi.
I think, and I agree with Ceci, that it depends on the situation. Because if you're in the classroom, right, in this case, it depends on the activity. For example, if you're doing grammar activity, in this case, yes. If you ask the student and he makes this big mistake in this case, that's okay, that's right place for correcting that student. And in this case, you should do it in a very soft way, right? Because you can just make him unwilling to open up, and he can, after all, just close himself, bottle himself, and doesn't tell you the answer at all, because he's afraid then of speaking, right? And the situation, if you are making speaking activity, in this case, it's the wrong place. And again, it depends. If it's a big mistake or it's something that you can just miss and continue the dialogue. So speaking part, I think it's not the right place.
Okay. So if you're practicing speaking or you're just having a conversation.
Right, yes, because speaking activity is, after all, just speak, right?
Mm-hmm. To practice speaking.
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. So if it's a grammar exercise, correct mistakes. If it's just a speaking exercise, don't correct mistakes.
Yeah, no, I don't agree totally in this with this idea, because again, if it's speaking activity and you continue this conversation and the student makes a great mistake, in this case you can't understand the student at all. Mm-hmm. Yes. Maybe it's appropriate place to interrupt him, and again in very soft way, so you can repeat that part in there with the grammar construction that is right. In this case, yes, you can use this interaction and this correction, so the student could understand where the mistake is. It all depends of the situation, of the person. Is he, is he a shy person? Is he confident or not? Because if he is shy and he's unconfident, he just, I think, in my opinion, he won't be able to continue this conversation.
Okay. And that's
For me,
why
yes.
you shouldn't correct all the mistakes in that case.
Yes, that's my point.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Nastani, what do you think about this? Nastani, I see you're not at work today. You're at home today.
Yes, it's my free day today.
Well, thanks for using your free time to join us here.
It's good for me.
It's good for all of us to hear from different people around the world. So what do you think? When is it okay to correct people's mistakes, and when is it not okay?
Yeah, it's depends on situation. If, for example, if my friends tell that please correct me when I speak and I make some mistakes, please correct me. This person can, of course, but not public. Honestly, you make mistake and you say like this way to say better. This is bad. If it's lessons on like some activities, it's good to sometimes it's correct, because when you repeat, you think that this is right. Because nobody say that you make mistake. Nobody say. And you think that this is right, and your brain thinks that it's right, and I can use this many times. And finally, someone maybe you tell you, oh, this is not right, and you make mistakes. And sometimes maybe it's will be. Moment when we'll be very confused and very shy because of this moment. And it's depend on situation, but teachers need to all time correct if you make mistakes. Yeah. But if it's like just free time and enjoy some 5 minutes you have, of course, okay, if you make mistake, but another time, no.
Okay. So let me see if I understand correctly. You're saying that it's okay to correct someone's mistakes in private, not in public. And it's good when teachers correct your mistakes, but if you're just speaking with someone for 5 minutes, they shouldn't correct your mistakes. Okay. Great. Joe, welcome.
Hi, everyone.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. And you?
Great. So what do you think about this topic? When is it okay to correct people's mistakes, and when is it not okay?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, of course, I mean, I was a student, right? So then I became a teacher, and I've seen, certain things about this, right? I mean, people that you see it in their faces that, for example, they get angry because you correct them sometimes, right? Some other people, of course, is like, okay, they feel like, okay, thank you, because you are correcting me, right? Because I want to get better. And yeah, I don't know, in my case, it's like I need to see how the person feels like in that moment, when I start correcting, so I can see like maybe in his or her face, or maybe like instead of repeating him or herself about the word or the mistake that the person made. So it's like I consider like, okay, maybe I should do it like maybe at the end. Okay, so when I finish and the person stops speaking or something, or at the end of the conversation when I'm with someone who is learning, it's like, okay, I correct that at the end. There are some others, they tell me like, hey, if you listen to a mistake when I'm talking, please correct me, because I want to know in that moment, right? And so I think in this case it depends on the person, right? So because I mean, it happened to me also at the beginning when I was learning, because it made me feel insecure as well, right? When someone was correcting me, like, and it also depends, because when someone is correcting you a lot, you feel insecure, then it's okay. So am I learning correctly, or am I speaking correctly, right? And yeah, that's something at least that happened, and I know that it might happen to other people as well, right? And but yeah, that's based on my experience, and also in some other things that I've seen, right?
So for some people, it's okay to correct them in the middle of in the middle of their speech, and for some people, you should wait until the end.
Yeah.
And then you also mentioned some people just get angry when you correct their mistakes. I know some people like that too, where, for example, I'll speak to them in Russian and they'll correct my mistakes, but then when they speak English and I correct their English mistakes, they get very angry. And so, yeah, it's difficult to communicate with someone like this.
Yeah, it can be a little bit tough, yes. But I think, I mean, what I try to do is just to help in the way they want to be helped, right? So if they want me to correct in that moment, I'll do it. If they want me to do it at the end, I'll do it. But if they don't want me to correct, their mistakes, so I won't.
Yeah. What about outside of the classroom? Do you think that outside of the classroom, there are situations when it's okay to correct mistakes or not okay?
Yeah, the thing here is, I don't know, maybe in my case, as I want my like people, to feel comfortable first. So I will not start using it. Like I will not start correcting people at the beginning. So it's only if they tell me, right? Because when I started doing that is when I had this problem of people getting angry. So that's why it's like, okay, so I just prefer the person tell me, if you find something wrong in my speech, so you can also let me know in that moment, or you can tell me, right? But I mostly try to help people with like mistakes that they are making a lot, right? So when they are making a lot of mistakes, I mean, the same mistake many times, so I help them in that way.
Great. Yeah. I think sometimes, Joe, thanks so much for that. I think also sometimes people feel like when we correct mistakes in situations where they don't expect this, then it seems like the person who's correcting the mistakes feels like they're better than the other person, right? And we have this this phrase that we might say, holier than thou, holier, like better than you, like on a higher level. That some people might feel like the other person behaves like this or acts like this, right? And that's not good, I think. Yeah. Okay, Mukhtar. Hi, welcome today. How are you?
I'm fine.
Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
So yeah, what do you think about this? When is it okay to correct people's mistakes and not correct people's mistakes? And when is this a problem, or when is this bad to correct someone's mistakes?
Chris, it depends to whom you are correcting. It depends on the other person. Is he want to correct himself, or does he feel his insult to be corrected? So that depends on the person who is in front of you. And especially people, when they pronounce, normally they pronounce 60 to 70% wrong. And even they can't pronounce the words in English, rather than the whole phrases, they can't pronounce the single word correctly as it should be. So, well, I think that if somebody wants to correct himself, so there is nothing wrong in it, that at the time of speaking you can correct it. And if you feel that the person is some other kind of person, then you can correct him politely at the end of the conversation. This is the thing. I mean, this is the thing that he will not take it as a insult, and so there are certain ways to correct. Normally, people mind when you correct them at the moment when they are talking or making a conversation. So ethically, it's also wrong. What I think, because if he is saying something, he want to express his views, even then we can understand what he want to say or what she want to say. So the first thing is that you should listen to him or her to understand his or her point of view, and just grab those mistakes and pick those mistakes, and at the end of conversation you can correct them in a such a way that the other person should take it positively.
Yes, this is great. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so I think you said something really important here. If the person is speaking and making mistakes, they can still, you can still understand their point of view. You can still understand what they want to say. And so I think that brings us to a big point, which is that speaking and discussing things, it's about communicating and understanding. It's not about being correct. And when we interrupt the person, when we correct them in the middle of their speech, then we stop their flow of speech and their flow of ideas. So it's probably not great to correct someone like that. Maybe in a classroom. Right?
In a classroom, it's okay, because you have, especially you are doing something, especially in this regard. But if you are talking to somebody, so the other person is not your student all the time. So you have to keep in mind the self-respect or something else you can say.
Yes. Yeah. The self-respect, to respect the other person, even if they make mistakes in their speech.
What is the good thing? What is the good thing? That the one is trying to do that. This is the good thing. So we should appreciate that. And if suppose I know something better than the other person, then I should express myself the different way to put my positive impression. And the other thing is to improve his bilingual proficiency. I mean, this is what I think.
Great. Thank you so much, Mukhtar. Melissa, are you still with us? I see your video is off right now. Oh, there you are. Yeah. Hi, Melissa. Just turn your microphone on. Unmute. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm fine.
Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah. Thank you.
So what do you think about this topic? When is it okay to correct people's mistakes in English, and when is it not okay?
For me, as a person, we commit mistakes, but if you are making mistakes, then you are making new things, trying new things, or learning, living, pushing yourself, changing yourself, changing your world. So if someone correct me about the mistakes, then I said thank you, because you know in yourself that there's a lot of things that you can do something to improve your speaking English. Yeah. Then
but what if you're speaking and the person just keeps correcting you? You say 4 or 5 words and then they correct you. Oh, thank you. And then 4 or 5 words, correct. Thank you. And then 4 or 5 words. Oh, thank you again. I think after some time, you probably will stop saying thank you.
yeah. Sometimes they talk. What is that? We should accept mistakes. every attempt should be made to correct mistakes. Then the key is to realize what is right and wrong and can be corrected. And when someone correcting me about that, not only say thank you, it's he also help them to improve their speaking.
Great.
Yeah.
Have you been in a situation like this where you're speaking English and the other person tries to correct you, and you think they
Yes,
understand me, why are they correcting me?
yes, of course, my family, and then always ask them if my speech is good or not. And if it's not good, then I will learn a lot of things to correct it. Yeah.
So people in your family help you with this. They correct you.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Cool. Thank you. Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you. Po.
So yeah, so I see we have a couple other people who have joined us here, Niraj and Cherry. Welcome. Niraj, it looks like it's in the middle of the night there. Hope we didn't wake you up, but hi.
Yeah, hi, Chris. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good. I'm really excited to join your session today.
So
Actually,
where are you joining us from?
I am from India.
From India. What part of India?
Yeah, actually, I am from east part of India.
East?
Yeah. In India is a really large country, right? And I am from the east part of the India, right?
The East.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So what do you think about this? When is it okay for someone to correct your English mistakes, and when is it not okay?
Yeah, actually, according to me, when it is, important to correct someone mistake, like when we are talking to
Uh-oh.
that yes, you are making mistake there, and that is the perfect time to correct someone mistake. And when someone is speaking in front of anyone else, like it can be anywhere else in the school or colleges, and that point of time it is not, I think, okay to correct his or her mistake, because he or she can be angry and they'll be thinking that this man trying to humiliate me, right? And that's why, according to me, in the friend circle it is right to correct someone's mistake, and even in individual conversation, right? Yeah. And one thing I would like to tell you, especially, it is privilege for me to join your season, because it's been long time, like it's been more than a year since I have been watching your videos, and I have learned lots of things, right?
Well, thank you.
Yeah, and even I had joined your like club. I don't know the name of, I exactly do not remember the name of that club. I had paid almost like $9. What is the name of that club?
English Club.
Yeah, English club. I joined that one. I learned a lot, and now I feel really confident in English, right? Even I taught many people, right, how to speak fluent English.
Great. Well, great.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're here with us today. Thanks.
Yeah. I'm glad to join your session. Over the moon today.
Excellent. Awesome.
Yeah.
And
Would you like to? Yeah. Would you like to comment on my English?
I understood what you said.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. It's nice.
So today, I try to do these calls in a way where we discuss a topic, and I'm not really trying to teach something here, and I'm not correcting mistakes. I think this is probably the next thing for us to speak about right now, right? Because this is what we talked about, like the topic that we're talking about today, about the right time to correct mistakes and the wrong time.
I love you kind of teacher, right? I learned lots from you, right? Lot. I cannot express in the, because I'm really short of the word. How can I applaud you, right?
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I understand you, and thanks a lot for watching and for joining us today.
I will join every day, right? Whenever you come live, I'll join, right?
Awesome.
Actually, my name is not Neeraj, you know, it is a phone of my neighbors, right? My phone is not working properly. That's why I took his phone and I joined your session. That's why I'm over the moon, right?
Oh, cool. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
What's your name then?
My name is Muhammad Nuran.
Muhammad Noore.
Yes, I am actually undergraduate student. I have been doing graduation with the geography honors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for joining us today.
Okay.
All right.
And when,
I
yeah,
see
when
a few
we'll come.
people have joined us now too. So that's so we'll try to give everybody the chance to speak. And today we're talking about when you should correct mistakes and when you shouldn't correct mistakes. Some of the people who are here with us are teachers. Some of us are not teachers. And so we already had a lot of good ideas from the people who you see here about when it's right to correct mistakes and when it's not right. But, you know, Ceci was talking about speaking with American people. And I think it's important to for me to add one more thing here, because a lot of the things that we talked about already are about if we're in a classroom or we're not in a classroom, if we're having a conversation, or if a person knows more and they can positively tell us about this mistake to help us, and they're not telling us about mistakes just to criticize us, right? So I think that that's important, but there's also a cultural element of mistake correction that is important to understand, because for a lot of English speakers, the culture of mistakes, around mistakes, is different than for people in some other countries, speakers of some other languages. So in some languages, it's very important to be correct all of the time, and most speakers of the language try to be correct. And if someone tells you that you're not speaking correctly, then maybe this is accepted. This is okay. It's not rude. But in English, it's very different, because there are so many different people from different places who speak English differently that it's very difficult to say what is correct and what's not correct. And so some people might say something with different pronunciation or with different grammar sometimes, right? Even British English and American English, in some special cases, have different grammar. And so people speak differently, use different words and different expressions. And so especially with American English speakers, usually they do not correct mistakes. So let's imagine a situation where you come to the United States and I'm speaking, you're speaking, and one more American person is speaking. Maybe the other person knows that I'm an English teacher. Maybe they know that you're learning English, but this still will not be important to them, because if I correct your mistake in front of this person will think that I'm being very rude. This person will think that it's rude that I'm correcting your mistake. And so I think that that's good in normal conversations. I think it's good when you're in public, when you're right in regular life, in everyday life. I think that that's good, that you don't need to correct people's mistakes all the time in everyday life. But this can be a problem when you go to the classroom, because you can see that many native English speakers, many American English speakers in the classroom, when they're teaching, they also don't like to correct mistakes, because they think that they feel like they're being rude, or they feel like they're not supposed to do that. So, so that's why it can be really difficult to learn from some native speaking teachers, because they might not tell you about these mistakes, and they might actually think that they're not supposed to tell you about that. And they think, if I understand the person, then I don't need to correct them. And if I don't understand them, then I will tell them, oh, sorry, I don't understand. Can you say it differently? And they won't say, oh, that was a mistake. I'm not saying all teachers are like that. I think the teachers who have more experience, they understand that you have to correct mistakes. That's part of teaching. But there are other ways that native speakers tell you that you're making mistakes. And I think that this is really important to talk about and to know. Usually, if you make a mistake in English when you're speaking with a native speaker, they will not say, that's wrong, that's a mistake, you should say it differently. Usually they don't say that. Instead, what they do is they make some kind of strange face, right? They're like, what? Like they'll show you with body language, they'll show you with some facial expressions that something is uncomfortable. That's what they'll do. They don't try to hide this. They'll just, maybe it will just be a raised eyebrow. Huh? Like that. So they'll make some kind of face that will show you that something is wrong or something feels uncomfortable or they didn't completely understand something. Or they will ask a question like, and usually they'll start with a big, what do you mean when you say this? Right? They might ask you this question. What did you mean by that? What do you mean when you say that? This is how they tell you something wasn't clear. There was a mistake, right? Now, maybe it's not always a mistake. Maybe they just didn't hear you, or maybe something like this, right? But in a lot of situations, native speakers, especially people who are not teachers, native speakers will just make these faces and send these signals to tell you that something wasn't clear or something is kind of uncomfortable. But yeah, when is it right to correct mistakes and not to correct mistakes? Like, for example, today I'm asking for your opinion. You're telling me your opinion. I don't think it's the right time for me to jump in and say, mistake, 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 mistake. I think it's important just to hear what you think. And it's important for you to practice speaking and just to express what you think, to say your opinion. But yeah, I think sometimes there are lessons, there are situations where the teacher needs to correct mistakes, and that's a lot different, right? That's a lot different than just correcting mistakes in general. But Joe and Ceci, who are both teachers, they also mentioned something really important about, and I think Mukhtar also said something about this, are we going to correct the mistake in the middle of the speech? Are we going to correct the mistake when it happens? Or are we going to wait until the end and then correct them, right? And this is a big difference, because what we're looking for. So I think that a good teacher doesn't correct every mistake. A good teacher corrects the critical mistakes, the mistakes that make it difficult to understand, right? Or like maybe there's a mistake where when you make this mistake, it has a different meaning. And that's why if you make that mistake, people will not understand you correctly, right? But for some mistakes, okay, you pronounce the word the wrong way, but everyone can understand what that word is. Or you use the wrong verb tense, but everyone can understand what you were trying to say, right? But in some cases, those mistakes have a completely different meaning, and then it's important. To correct the mistake. And so what a good teacher is going to do is look for teachable moments. We call them teachable moments. It's the moment, the opportunity, the chance to teach something, right? So a person says something or makes the mistake, and we're looking for the right place to teach that. And that's important because my fellow teachers here, the other people who are watching and listening who are teachers also, they know that sometimes you correct a mistake and the person just ignores it and keeps going. Right? Sometimes you might say, oh, you mean this instead of that. And they'll say, yeah. And then they'll make the mistake again and they'll keep going. This happens too, right? So yeah, I think it depends. The way that we correct people depends on the type of lesson. It depends on the situation. There are some, in some lessons, you can do very quick error correction, mistake correction. Like for example, if it's a speaking exercise, sometimes a person made a mistake and the teacher, if the teacher and the student already understand how this works, then the teacher can quickly say the correct pronunciation or the correct phrase, and the student can say, oh, and go back and repeat the phrase, use the correct one, and then continue. And then we can correct in the middle, so it doesn't stop the flow of the conversation. Because, right, when we talk about fluency and being fluent in English, really what we're talking about is the flow of speech. So we don't want to stop that just to teach a small mistake. We only want to stop that if it's a big mistake. And maybe we don't want to stop it, because what's more important, to be able to speak or to speak correctly? It's more important that people understand what we're saying, right? All right, great. So let's go to Cherry. Hi, Cherry.
Hi, good morning. But it's our evening time here in our country.
Good evening to you.
Good evening. Yes.
So what do you think? When is it okay to correct people's mistakes in English, and when is it not okay?
Okay, so when it's if it's writing, you can correct it directly. But when it's conversation, it's difficult to correct them directly. Oh, you can repeat the words, but you can repeat it in a correct way. But do not tell them that that's wrong or it's a mistake. So you can repeat the sentence or the conversation in a correct way, but not directly that saying the word mistakes. But when it comes of writing like journals, you can correct them, getting their works, correct them, write their mistakes, something like that. Yeah. That's it. Thank you.
So mistakes in writing. Yeah, this is interesting. But I think even when we're writing, there's situations when you can correct someone and there's situations when you can't correct someone, right?
Yes.
Like if my friend is sending me a text message on my phone, SMS, he says, Chris, I am meeting you at 5 o'clock. And I write him back, no, that's a mistake. You will meet me at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, you can rewrite the sentence, but in a correct way.
Right. Yeah, that's a good example. That's what I think that's what a lot of native speakers do too. A lot of native speakers will just ask a question back to you.
Yes.
They'll ask it correctly back to you. You'll make a mistake and then they ask it correctly back to you, and then they want you to like repeat what you said correctly.
Yes.
Thanks, Cherry.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to Buyana. Hi, Buyana.
Yes, hi. Teacher, sorry. I'm just listening because my English.
Your English
very
is
bad.
I understand you.
Okay. I'm understanding. But telling
It's difficult to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Because
everyone.
teacher, because Mongolian people's conversation English language little bit conversation not talking so I'm not talking.
It's okay, Buyana.
Yeah,
I understand
okay.
you.
Yeah.
You say that many Mongolian people don't speak much English. They speak a little English.
Yes. Okay.
But I understand you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
And my name is Chris, so you can call me Chris. You don't have to call me teacher.
Oh,
Yeah, you can just say Chris.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, hi, how
Thank
are you,
you.
everybody?
Great. So let's next go to Aida. Hi, Aida.
Hi,
Thanks for joining
I'm
us.
Aida. I'm glad to see you here.
Where are you joining our call from?
I am from Azerbaijan, Baku.
Great.
It's very interesting for me to listen your speaking and other people. I want to improve my English, speaking,
right place.
listening. Yes, thank you. Now, what can I say about to correct mistake? I think it's good to correct somebody's mistakes, and it's not bad for me because I learn something if somebody corrects my mistake. Then what can I say else? It's a little difficult to me to speak in English.
No problem. I can say 0 words in Azerbaijani, so
Yes.
you know a lot more than I know. Yeah.
I know my language very well. Now I want to learn English because it's international language. We need learn this language.
Do you meet any English speakers in Baku?
In Baku, yes, in the center of the city, I meet and I want to take acquaintance with them and just try to speak with them and help if they don't know interesting sightseeings in our city. I just recommend them to go to have a good day there, and it's very nice to me to see those foreigners in our city, tourists also.
Great. And so you practice speaking with them. You say, oh, you should go see this famous place.
What do you think? What about my speaking? Is it bad or a little good? What do you think?
I understand you. I think we're having a good conversation.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Nice
All
to
right.
hear you.
Excellent. So, okay, next we'll go to Sami Khan, but first let's look at some of the comments on YouTube. There's a lot of people writing. My favorite comment is that Mira Ahmad says, I think Chris is not a real American. Maybe he's from North Korea. That's my favorite. And let's see, Demos says, English learners always make mistakes, even native speakers. So don't worry. That's true. Yeah, so that's another funny thing, is that sometimes the person correcting the mistakes doesn't know what they're talking about. And they are making a mistake when they try to correct the mistake sometimes, right? This happens a lot with native English speakers because they know how people speak from the place that they're from, right? So, for example, a person from Scotland, a person from Australia, and a person from the United States, if they all meet together, they will probably think that the other person says some strange things, makes some mistakes, pronounces words in a strange way. And so it can be funny. And if they have students, if they're teachers and someone speaks to them, and each of these people might say, oh, that's a mistake, or that's a mistake. So right now I'm doing some videos together with other people from YouTube, other people who have who make a lot of videos on YouTube. So soon you will see some videos with me and other YouTube teachers. And one girl who I'm making a video with, she told a story about how an American person corrected her pronunciation. She was talking about scientists in a laboratory. She said the word laboratory, which is British English, and it's correct. But this American person said, that's so funny. Why do you say it like that? That's not how you pronounce it. You should say laboratory, because that's how, sorry, not laboratory. That's the British English pronunciation, but you should say laboratory. In American English, we say laboratory, but in British English, they say laboratory. And so she said the British English way, and the American English speaker, he's not a teacher. He doesn't know about British English probably. And so he's probably never heard a person pronounce it like that. And so for him, it sounded very strange. And he said, that's a mistake. So I think native speakers are really good at telling you what sounds strange or what doesn't sound natural to people where they are from, but not about what's correct in English in general, right? It's really important to remember that, like, a native speaker of any language is not a teacher of that language. And there's also a big difference between a person who teaches a language in their country and a person who teaches a language to other people who are learning that language as a second language or a foreign language. There's a big difference. For example, there are English language professors at universities, and they always have taught English to native speakers. They teach English to natives. This is very different from teaching English to people who are not native speakers. There are different important things that they have to talk about and they have to teach. And it's the same in your language, I think, that there are native speakers who just, as a child, they grow up, they speak this, and they might say things. Usually they say correct things, but they don't know why. Then there's professors and teachers of the language. They teach native speakers in school, at university, and they teach things that are very specific about this language, like how people wrote many years ago, or some phrases that native speakers always say wrong or get wrong, right? And then there's a third category. There's people who teach your language to people from other countries who are trying to learn this language from zero, and they talk about different things. Okay, cool. Let's go to Sami Khan. Sami Khan, hi. How are you today?
Hi, sir. How are you?
I'm good. You can call me Chris.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to say sir. You can just call me Chris.
Chris.
Chris, yeah, that's my name. Thanks. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. And you?
I'm good. You can call me Chris. Yeah. You don't have to say sir.
I'm can't do it, sir. I'm can't do it, sir.
So what do you think? When is it okay to correct somebody's English mistakes? And when is it not okay?
Sir, I don't know about this. I'm not English speakers, but I am trying to you English speak.
Okay, yeah, we don't have to talk about that. So are you watching football? Are you watching soccer? The World
Yes,
Cup?
No, sir, no.
No? There's this big
I'm watching video and grammar with you and YouTube's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nobody
Yes,
needs
sir.
why watch sports? Learn English, of course, it's better.
Sir, I will speak in English, but
it's good that you're trying. It's good to speak English, yeah. Where are you from?
I'm from Pakistan.
Pakistan. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And what is your first language?
My first language is Urdu.
Urdu.
Speaking Urdu. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And do your friends in Pakistan speak English too?
No, sir. He is always speaking Urdu.
So you're the only person in your group of friends. You're the only English speaker.
Yes, sir. I'm in love with English because it is a international language.
Great.
Yes, sir.
Who do you practice speaking with?
Why not, sir? It is no English speaks, and I will talk to you in English, but I'm learning English with you, sir. Chris.
Mm-hmm. Well, great. I'm very happy that you're practicing English with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Have a good day. Or good evening. Yeah.
Good evening.
All right. I see we also have let's see. Chering Dory. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Chris.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How can I say your name correctly?
Sring. You can say Sring. Yes.
Okay. Great. And where are you from?
I am from Bhutan, Mr.
Bhutan.
Chris. I'm from Bhutan.
Oh, great. I haven't met a lot of people from Bhutan.
So actually, I was watching your YouTube offline all the time, but today it's a great for me to join the live. Thank you very much for to get a chance to practice.
Welcome. Yeah, so our topic today is about mistakes and correcting mistakes. And what do you think? When is it okay to correct somebody's English mistakes, and when is it not okay?
Just to point on that, if I'm given a chance to explain something on that,
yeah,
as my opinion, my personal opinion. So, for instance, if you are a teacher, if you are in a class, no, so you can directly interrupt and point their mistake. But if you are in a meeting or somewhere in the public, I think it is not a good to point a mistake. But however, if we are talking a personal or individually, then it is also a good. It is also a very good to correct the mistake. But no one speak the correctly, no. But for example, even I have got a problem to speak my own language also. That is the that is the problem. So for me, if anyone pointed my mistake, then I think it is a good.
You think it's good?
Yeah, that's good.
In any situation?
Yeah, in any situation. For just now, for example, it's I'm learning how to speak English, but in our country, from pre-primary school itself, our learning medium is English. But however, it's very difficult to speak in a public or to just to convey our message, no. So for me, if it is not my language, I mean, it is not our own country language, so anyone and at any time they can point my mistake. That is good for me, actually.
So what is your first language? Is it Dzongkha?
Yeah, it's Dzongkha. Did you? Yeah, Dzongkha. It's our national language out here. No? I think you must have visited our country. Seems you must be having some friends or someone.
No, I'm just interested in different country languages.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think you're right. It's important not to correct mistakes in public, in front of a lot of people, because then someone can feel criticized and feel like they don't want to speak more, right?
Yeah, yes, that. At the same time, there are so many ways how to correct the mistake, no, sir?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways.
Yeah. For example, I'm speaking English and it's not my language, but if you say that's not like that, then if you say this is not like that is this, then it's like an insult or criticism, no?
Right.
But most of the time, if someone is a good speaker or someone like you, if you point out my mistake at any time, I usually take it as a positive.
Yeah, I think it's great if you can find something positive in these mistakes, but for some people, I think it's very difficult because every mistake they take it very personally. Some people. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just to ask one question to you.
Yeah.
Please don't mind when I say la. Whenever I speak something at the end of sentence, I used to say la or something, but that is actually it is a respect in our just it is like a respect actually. So just to ask one question to you, I've been going a lot through your off video YouTube channel and so many things, but suddenly today I find to join you in a live. That is great. And to practice or to learn how to talk with you always, how can we join that one? But actually, I was 2 years before itself, I was trying to join that more through payment or someone like that, but I could not find how to take that link, and I've got so many problems. Just if you can say something about your.
Yeah,
I mean.
Yeah, great. Thank you for that question. So quickly, we'll talk about that. So first of all, we have a speaking practice program where every day we have a few lessons with professional native teachers, and you can join them from your phone, your computer, from any device that has the internet, and you can practice speaking. And they have different topics. There are other students from around the world and it's different than what we do now. Right now, we're just on YouTube, and so we can only kind of speak one by one. So it's a little different. In those lessons, you speak with the teacher, you speak with other students, and you go into smaller groups. And then, and that program is called English Every Day. And here's the link. I've just put the link in the chat. So if you're interested in that program, you can go to our website and you can join. And we're adding more and more lessons there. Every day there's more, there's 3, 4, 5 lessons sometimes right now, and then we're adding more and more and more. So that's number one. Secondly, we have a community on Facebook. We've created a group for every country in the world, and we are looking for a representative of each country. And these calls that we do here on YouTube are with people who joined those groups, and then they wrote a comment and they said, I want to be the representative of this country. I invite them to a special chat, a special workplace, and there I announce that we're going to go live, and I share some information. And so that's how we came here. That's how most of the people who you see here got here. And we do this every Wednesday at 8 a.m. New York time. So it's once a week, but we want to start adding more speaking lessons on YouTube like this also. So what I have decided to do is to take the money that YouTube gives me from this channel and to pay teachers to teach lessons on YouTube. And then I can give more speaking practice lessons to people who are on YouTube. So to do this, we need more people to come to YouTube. And so the bigger that the YouTube channel gets, then the more lessons we can have on YouTube also. Yeah, so that's the long answer to your question.
Thank you very much. I think I'll get chance next time also.
Yeah, and I don't think we have a representative from Bhutan. So if you want to go, I've sent the link in the chat, chrisamericos.com/community. So
okay,
if you go there, that'll take you, you can find your country, go to the Facebook group for your country. You can leave a comment there. Hey, Chris, I want to be the representative of my country. And then I will invite you to our private workspace. And then you'll know when we're going live. You'll have the link, you'll have more information.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
you. All right. So we have to finish this this call soon, but I see that we also have Nirvana and Maitrang with us. So Nirvana, what do you think? When is it okay to correct mistakes, and when is it not okay?
I think it's okay, like mistakes in the class and in normal conversation with maybe few people. It's not it's good to correct mistakes during something very important in front of big public, I think.
Right. Don't correct people in front of other people.
That's it.
Okay. So yeah, I think a lot of people here said something similar today. Thanks, Nirvana. And great. So we talked a lot today about mistakes, about correcting mistakes, different situations when it's okay and it's not okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And just one more time, if you want more speaking practice, if you want to join more lessons like this, then we do this several times every day. We have lessons with teachers who are practicing speaking with students from different countries. And the link is in the chat, so you can join our program. And I hope to see you at one of those lessons. Have a great day, and we'll talk again soon.